Hi all, ACDodd here again, and welcome to another episode of On the Road Tuning with me, ACDodd. And this time we're in two places. We've got Reading and we're all the way down to Southend. Let's get stuck in. Okay, where are we today? Well, today I'm on a farm somewhere near Reading, and we've got this nice Sprite Mini Mayfair. And when I say Sprite, although it's a Mayfair model, awesome little car, and it's only got low mileage as well, so it's a little bit like the previous episode with the Tahiti. This one is a carburettor engine with the HI38 carburettor, 65D ignition, so it's the whopping 52 horsepower power machine. So what we're going to do is go and speak to the owner and see why he's called us down. Okay, so this is Daniel. Daniel's the owner of this nice Mayfair. So if you'd like to tell everybody why you called us down today.
Well, the car runs pretty well. It's a bit stuttery, sometimes on part throttle. I think that there's more power to be gained, hopefully. And I thought we'd give you a call and see how much gain there is.
Okay, so I'll take it you've watched some of my episodes before and you've seen that there might be something to add. So hence you're taking the plunge and call me in.
Exactly that.
Okay, all right. Well, what we'll do, let's have a dig in and see what we can find.
All right, brilliant.
So here are the spark plugs on that engine, and as we can see, this one isn't running rich, which is good. We're running, in fact, I'd say probably a little bit on the lean side. So with that in mind, let's go back to the engine and carry on going through it. Okay, so started to go through this one. Check the coil, that's all good. The HT leads are all good. You can see they're ACDodd, their quality lead set. They're all giving the right resistance. What we did do was go through and change the plugs. As you can see, the plugs that were in it were working very well, but they've been in there a while. So I just decided to change them for a new set of BP6s. So the same plugs, clearly just new ones. In terms of the timing curve, we've got exactly the same issues we had with the Tahiti in the previous episode of On the Road Tuning. Advanced curve's too long, so we're going to look at changing that. And then moving on to the carburettor. Again, we've got exactly the same problem. The carburettor is seized, and that's due to the fact that nobody's been in there touching it. So I'm going to now try and unseize the jet. If it won't unseize, then we're going to be unfortunately I can't do any more to it unless I change the carburettor. So let's hope we can get this one unseized, otherwise the customer's going to have a big bill for a carb. So we've got the engine running. I haven't done anything else yet other than check the fueling, and owner's given me permission to drill the airbox. So I was just going through and showing the owner the difference with the air filter on versus the air filter off. And at 5,000 RPM, the addition of the air filter is actually the same as adding 20% of extra fuel. So it gives you an idea of how bad these air filters are, even at part throttle. So as soon as you open the throttle and demand maximum airflow, these things are terrible. So we're going to drill this and then carry on with the tune. Okay, so drilling airboxes. Some of you won't necessarily appreciate that, but I can tell you from experience it makes a huge difference to the available airflow for the engine. So so much so that the factory airboxes were really quite restrictive. So even on a part throttle running, so that's when the throttle's virtually closed and the engine's at sort of cruise speeds, the available airflow is reduced with the standard airbox. So you know, drilling the airbox to increase the airflow makes a huge difference. Yes, it does change the ram length for the air filter, but in my experience, not to the detriment of the performance of the particular cars they're fitted to. And in this case, that engine's fitted with an 850 derivative of the 850 cam. So very, very good low down torque anyway. And the airbox itself is even restricting that very, very low performance engine. So in reality, drilling the airbox on these air filters and the earlier, beg your pardon, plastic airboxes that were found on the minis, even on the 850s and 1000s, makes a huge difference. Okay, so what we've determined from the little air filter drilling and stuff is that the air filter drilling has opened up the airflow again by about 15-17%. So it's almost as good as not having the air filter on, which is excellent. So we'll leave that like that now. Carburetor's a little bit wandery. You know, it's only low miles, but it's already kind of struggling. So although not enough to you know, say we need a new carb today, maybe next year. But what we are going to do is we're going to change the bottom half of that Dizzy for a recurve one, and then we'll work on the needle to get the fueling corrected, and then she'll be ready to go. Okay, so we've got the distributors out, and just like the previous car, the Tahiti in the previous episode, this one's got an 18-degree curve and two reasonably tight springs. And then we go to my recurve one. You can see it's got a stop and a much lighter spring and a modified secondary spring. So this one on the left is what I carry in my kit and will advance a lot sooner and a lot quicker. But the total advance length is less, which is the primary goal here. So we'll get that installed. That'll wake the engine up, then we can adjust the needle and away we go. So recurve distributors. Part of getting the best out of the engine, you actually need to make sure you've got an optimised distributor advance curve. Now, the factory advance curves, as I mentioned in the previous episode, are anything but maximum performance usually on the more mundane models. And in fact, when you look through the timing figures, the factory actually did slow the engines down in terms of maximum performance to give the more mundane models a more of a mundane feel. So in reality, the more mundane engines can be woken up significantly by changing the advance curves, which is why I carry the bottom half distributors. The genuine Lucas 65D bottom half's already curved to a curve of my own specification, and this will wake the engine up, and that's why you'll see me when I do these sprite-based engines, low-power engines that have the very long advance curves. I will change the advance curve for two reasons. One, to wake the engine up, and secondly, to stop over-advance at the top end of the rev range, because the factory inbuilt advance is very long. So, got the car finished. We ended up with some interesting modifications on the needle. It needed a very, 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 very rich needle to get the fueling anywhere near right. This was so lean when we throttled it that you know, the engine was struggling to rev. We also had the SU 20 weight oil in, which wasn't quite thick enough, so I've actually gone to straight 30 weight oil, and yeah. What with the drilled airbox and the modified advance curve, this engine is on point. So we're going to send the owner out in here now and see what he thinks. Okay, so Daniel's been out in his car and you could already see the cheeky smile coming through there. So what's it like now, Daniel?
Smoother, sounds different, sounds better, nicer to drive all round. Better slower, better faster, well worth it.
More power generally?
Definitely more power generally.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So what you're basically saying is it's kind of improved everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
For sure.
All right. So now you've had this experience, I see you've got a few other cars here with SUs on. Are you going to have me back for those, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. So in which case you'd recommend this to other people, yeah?
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right. Well, thanks very much for having me down. And I can hit the road now and go look at the next car. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
So, today we're down in Southend and we've got this beautiful black little road racer. Lovely little car. Look at that. Beautiful interior. Absolutely stunning car. And under the bonnet beats the heart of a slightly modified 998 A+. So when I say slightly modified, it's got a 202 head on it with a little bit of porting. And the compression's been raised. It's got a rebuilt HS 4 carburetor. It's got a stage 1 kit. It's also got Power Spark high energy ignition via mini spares, and obviously Power Spark leads. So let's go and have a chat with the owner and see why he's called us down. Okay, so this is Danny, and he's called us in today. And interestingly, I'm quite away from home, so you called me all the way from Salisbury, all the way to Southend. So why have you called us in?
Well, ever since I've had the Mini, it's been running rich. So this winter I decided to rebuild the carburetor, try and get that sorted. After doing that, I've still got problems with flat spots and everything, so I've called you down to try and sort it out for me.
Wonderful. So you basically, what you're saying is you've got the usual driving ailments, flat spots.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Lack of power.
Lack of power. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dig in and see what we can find.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you.
So we're getting stuck into this one. As you can see, I haven't done much yet. Well, that's because there hasn't been much to do. So it's got the right coil on it. It's got a high power 0.8 ohm coil. It's got the Mini Spurs Evo Dizzy. I've checked the advance curve. That's okay. Maybe a touch soft 2000 revs, but engine has got high compression ratio. So we're over 200 pounds of compression. So in reality, the soft advance curve at 2000 revs is probably going to help us out. So I'm going to leave that there. Got the Power Spark leads, which are all good. We've got heat range BP5 spark plugs. I've had a discussion with the owner about those plugs, and he may need just to keep an eye on them because this has got a modified head on it and high compression, just to make sure that he's not running these too hot. I don't think he will, because I don't believe he drives it particularly hard. So but it is something to bear in mind on these 998 engines. Depending on how they're driven, that can determine the plug that you use. So anyway, ignition system's fine, timing's all fine, timing curve's fine. So with that all sorted, I'm now going to turn my attention to the carburetor and see what that's doing. It's certainly nice to see now when I come out to customers' cars, and this one is a classic example. The owner's been avidly watching my YouTube series, and he's been applying all the right parts to his vehicle. So in this particular case, the ignition system was on point. So yeah, very good of that owner to make sure everything was as it should have been. And it's also nice to know that people have actually been following the advice that I've been putting out. So let's carry on onto the carburetor and see what else we can find. So we're part way through tuning the carburetor, and as we can see, we've got the float lid off. So the reason why we got the float lid off is we have a problem with the needle valve sealing. Now, this is all brand new. So what could possibly be wrong? Well, I can tell you what's wrong. If we look in there, you will see the seat. You'll also see some detritus in there as well, but that's another issue. But if you look at the seat on that, you will notice it's quite wide. If you look at the seat on a genuine original SU one, if we can focus on that, well, in fact, you can see that that's tiny. All right, that's the seat size you actually need to make these seat and work and seal properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this old seat with the new Vitom needle, and then I'm going to take these, because all my stock that I've got from SU Carbs are all the wide seat. So I'm going to have a chat with the inspection chaps at SU and see if we can come up with a better solution. So that's going to take some time, but clearly that's going to be a problem. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'll take all my stock of these and I'll machine them myself to make them like the original SU ones. Anyway, let's get this back together, and hopefully no more fuel leaks and we can finish the tune. Okay, so as regards needles, yeah, interesting. So I've tried AAE, AAF, and the AAF was pretty close, but it was just a touch on the lean side. So what I did is I went down and tried about 4 or 5 of these AAFs, and not, so I basically played the tolerance game, and I couldn't quite get one exactly as I wanted it. So in the end, AAE or AAF wouldn't quite get me there. But ABD, the first one I tried was much too rich at 4,000 revs. Anyway, the second one I tried was much leaner at 4,000 revs. So actually, I've got my needle, which is that one, which is absolutely perfect all the way up the rev range. And we've also found that we had problems with dampers. So the damper that was in it was not with 2050 oil was rising much too quickly. So the owner supplied me another damper out of another carb, which was better. And then once I finally honed it down, even that second one wasn't rising slow enough, so I've had to sell the customer a new one, which is exactly the same as the other two, again, but this has got less wear on it, and probably the tolerance is a little bit better. So this is actually now rising a bit too slowly, so I'm just going to try and adjust the oil to come down to some 1040 for some 2050, and hopefully that will just take the edge off that damper and give the fueling where I need it. So what I'm also going to do with this one is this ABD needle just a little bit more fuel at the very top end, just because I know this engine is modified with a lightly modified head on it. So I'm going to give it a bit more fuel into the top end, and we should be good to go. Okay, so just as I said there, going through needles, and you'll notice I was going through, there was 3 types of needles, but there was many versions of the same needle. And the reason that you need to do that sometimes, and you need to carry a lot of needles, is because every needle is different. And the tolerance that the needles are made to will alter the fuel delivery from that particular needle. So as I said there, I was trying to play the tolerance game on the AAF needle, for example, and I went through 5. Couldn't quite get it. That particular batch of 5 that I had were pretty close. However, when I got to the ABD needle, the first one I tried was still a little bit rich, as I said, but the second one I tried was actually 5% leaner. So that was a huge difference for that part of the needle. So it just goes to show you that the tolerances on those needles are actually wider than the requirements for adjustments of fueling. And that's the important thing to understand here is if you buy needles, all the same ones, they're all going to fuel differently. And that's what really some people find difficult to understand. And it's to do with the accuracy to which the SU needs to be operated at to actually get that fueling to be absolutely perfect. So the important thing to understand here is just buying a needle of the same type won't necessarily get you the fueling or the same fueling that you're expecting. That's why you have to go through check, test, measure, adjust, and then hone into the exact needle that you want. So over onto the needle lathe, all we've done with this needle is just put a little bit more fueling in at the top end, just so I don't know where it is because obviously I've got no load, but I'm just making sure that I'm definitely not going to be too lean at full power. So this is an ABD needle, so we'll pop it straight back in. Going to thin the oil out a little bit in the dash pot, and hopefully we're good to go. Okay, so got this one all dialed in. Yeah, quite a challenge in the end on the carburetor. Obviously we had that problem with the needle valve, which we've now sorted. The fueling is stabilised, so if we just come over and check the reading, you can see it's not too bad. It's holding quite well. And obviously we had to go through many needles because it was quite a fine adjustment, but in the end I ended up with an ABD needle after trying about literally 10. Because they were so fine, the differences between them all. Yeah, ended up with this one. Sounds pretty good. So we're going to let the owner go out in it now, and then he'll come back on and tell us what he thinks. Right, so Danny's been out in his car now, and I think you can see the little smirk of a smile there, which is fantastic. So, what's it like now?
Oh, it's amazing. It just flies. Like I just said to you, it feels like we've put a different engine in it. So
excellent. Okay, so obviously more power. What's the drivability like now? Is it no flat spots?
No flat spots. Feels really smooth. Picks up when you put your foot down. Just takes off.
Okay, excellent. And not that I've put it on camera, but I also showed you pulled one of the plugs out after a ride, and it's now come back nice and clean and white.
Proper colour, how it should be. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so would you recommend this service to anyone else?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you need to get your car done touched by the hand of Dodd.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, and I appreciate you calling me all the way down, but clearly your car was a car that did need, in the end, quite a lot of modifications. But we got there in the end,
Yep.
and I think as you've already proved, that that time has been well spent.
Definitely, yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your car.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. Lovely.
Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. A couple of nice cars there, obviously similar tunes, but just investigating differences there with needles and things like that. So hopefully you learn from that. But as ever, please like, subscribe, share the videos, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.